Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are having a good festive season. Today I am back here with another video. I'm not very excited because the direction that the market is taking right now is actually casting a lot of doubts, and I am continuing to analyze the recent communication from Uber that came to all drivers that they released two communications in the month of December. And the initial communication was to just say that they will not accept vehicles in the Uber X category. That is not a big deal because in any case, the vehicles that were previously within the Uber X category are now either upgraded to Uber Comfort or downgraded to Uber Chap Chap. So for that reason, it doesn't mean so much for any person who has been owning a car in that category, because in any case, the vehicle will just be transferred. But the big news that I want us to discuss today is this one. There is a video I did already a few days ago, and the message from Uber was saying that they are not going to accept any more vehicles that are more than 12 years old. And to accept that does not mean that onboarding new vehicles. It does not refer to onboarding new vehicles. In any case, it has always been like that. They don't onboard new vehicles that are more than 12 years old or older. They only accept 12 years old or newer from the year of manufacture. But this communication is targeting existing vehicles that are already on their platform. They have clearly said that starting December of 2025, they are not going to accept any vehicle that is more than 12 years old. So if your vehicle is already on Uber, carrying people, I don't know, from 2017 or 2018 or 2020, whichever year that your vehicle started operating Uber, it doesn't matter. Come 2025, 31st December, if your vehicle is more than 12 years old, it will be removed automatically from operating on Uber platform, meaning that your vehicle will be rendered irrelevant. It will be useless. It cannot be used for business. And that, for me, it is very, very, very serious. I did another video already. I lamented so much. But in this video, I want us to be more realistic and do some math. I just want us to just do this critical analysis. Because in Kenya, we know that we only import vehicles that are 8 years old or newer. Right now, we are in 2024. The vehicles that you can import, or the vehicles that you can buy from a showroom, those are now the ex-Japan vehicles. In 2024, you can only import an oldest version of 2018, meaning that you cannot import right now a vehicle of 2017, you cannot import a vehicle of 2016, because by law, it is not possible. So if you go into any showroom today, you will find vehicles, maybe vehicles that were imported last year and they were not sold, maybe due to hard economic times, or maybe the showrooms had a lot of stock. So I don't know why my camera is turning dark. So I don't know maybe why those vehicles were not sold, but of course we understand in business, for some reason, a vehicle can fail to be sold. So if you go into any showroom today or into any car yard, you will find some units of 2016, of 2017 and 2018. But those are literally anything outside 2018 is literally a leftover. So it's maybe a vehicle that is not fast moving. It is not maybe in very good condition, or maybe, it was returned to the yard due to some performance issues. So right now, if anybody walks into a car yard, they want to buy a 2018 model and above, because that is what is trending, and that is what is, should be the order of the day. So let us go back to the math of Uber. Uber are saying that a vehicle that is more than 12 years old will not be allowed anymore to operate as an Uber vehicle. This means that the vehicle that we are going to buy today from the car yard are already 8 years old. You get my point? Because the Kenyan government will only allow you to import an 8-year-old vehicle or newer. So when you go into a showroom, you will only find a car that is 8 years old or older. You get my point? Because I have told you you can get a 2016, a 2017, or a 2015 model. So the math that I want to do with you, and I'm actually operating my second phone here so that I can open the calculator. Uber, they are saying that if you buy the most recent vehicle from the showroom, that is a 2018 model, you will only be able to do business with it for only 4 years. Let us do the math. They are saying that already the vehicle that is coming is 8 years old. Okay? They don't want a vehicle that is more than 12 years old on their platform. And just to reiterate this point, or to just repeat it, by not accepting, it doesn't mean new joiners. They mean existing vehicles like this one of mine. If it is more than 12 years old from the year of manufacture, they remove it from the platform. Whether it has been there before or whether it's the first time, it will not be able to do business. So what we are saying is that the 8 years these guys are saying, the government has put, plus the 4 years that you do Uber, you get to 12. You get my point? If you add those two, you get 12. 8 plus 4 is 12. This simply means that if you buy a vehicle for Uber business, I would call it brand new. It is not brand new, but we all know what brand new means for us. It is the most recent ex-Japan vehicle or foreign used vehicle. If you bring it into the Kenyan soil today, you have 4 years to do business with it before it is made useless. I hope you get my point. And there are two main problems here. You know, I have always been advocating to help people acquire cars for Uber business through cheaper means. And through cheaper means, I have always advocated for guys to look for cheaper vehicles in the second-hand market so that you don't have to go and buy the most expensive vehicles from the showrooms, the foreign used vehicles, because right now they get in at a very high premium. With less than $1 million, you cannot get a vehicle to drive. So I have always been telling people, go out there, buy a vehicle that has been used in the second-hand market, maybe have like 500,000, buy a vehicle and do your proper due diligence, and you'll get a vehicle at a cheaper price and you do business with it. But these Uber people are now saying that the moment a 2018 vehicle spends 4 years on the road and it is 12 years old, it is useless. That means that that vehicle cannot have any value in the second-hand market, because the value of these small cars is driven by the high demand from drivers and from people like myself who like buying vehicles from the second-hand market to put them into Uber business. If there is no opportunity for me to do Uber business with those second-hand vehicles, the moment your vehicle is 12 years old, where will you take it? As a business person, you have done Uber with it just for 4 years, and right now you are supposed to throw it away after 4 years. Who will buy that vehicle? And at what price? Because we are saying the demand for Uber cars is what drives value for these vehicles in the second-hand market. Right now, without that demand, there is no value for those vehicles. And I said in my previous video that those vehicles, I don't know who will buy them. And I predict that these vehicles will start to be sold in the market at a price less than 150,000, even if they are very nice vehicles, because as long as there is no demand, there is no value. People will start finding ways to dispose those vehicles, and buyers will start to find new ways to use them. And that's why I said every house help in Nairobi right now might own a vehicle, not theirs, but maybe their employer will buy a small vehicle so that the house help can use them to go for shopping. They can use them to take the kids probably to school. You will find that now every villager, or our grandparents and our and our parents in the village, probably we will take these vehicles to the village so that they can use them to go to church and maybe to run to the hospital or to do some few errands there, because these vehicles will have no more value within Nairobi, because literally all the small vehicles in Nairobi, a lot of them have value because of Uber business. So that is the first thing. We don't know where we will take these vehicles, and we don't want to throw them away because we have invested a lot of money. The second math that is not adding up, let me just open my calculator again. Forget now about the need for resale, the need for you to dispose that vehicle. That is the challenge number one. The challenge number two is the value that you get in 4 years. And I was trying to imagine here that a lot of people are investing in different type of vehicles to put in Uber. And some of these vehicles, like Mazda Demio, like Nissan Note, like Honda Fit, are not cheap vehicles. Those vehicles are being sold even at around 1.3 million. And I can just type that here so that we can do that math slowly together. If they are being sold at 1.3 million, I want us to do the math and see if that vehicle works for just 4 years. Will the investor get their money back? Because you are being told after the 4 years, your vehicle will be useless. So at least Uber should give us prices that guarantees a good return on investment in 4 years. Normally, a Honda Fit is normally 1300 cc. Mazda Demio is 1300 cc. So when you give those vehicles to drivers, they will tend to give you 1,000 shillings per day, because the bigger the engine capacity, the more the fuel consumption, and then the less you can ask from the driver. Compared to the small vehicles, the 650 cc, if you have a Daihatsu Mira, a Suzuki Alto, you will ask for around 1,300, 1,400 per day, because those vehicles have a smaller engine capacity. So as we continue, let me just turn my camera because my other hand is getting a bit tired. So we are saying that if someone buys a Demio, a Honda Fit, or any other vehicle at around 1.3, and then that vehicle is put into Uber Chap Chap, and that guy receives 1,000 shillings per day. Let's say, for example, there are 52 weeks. So let's assume that, for heaven's sake, a few weeks will be lost, maybe 5 weeks. So let us work with like 47 weeks in a year, because other weeks the vehicle could be having some downtime or some repairs to be done. If we work with 47 weeks, if we remove 5 weeks from the year and assume that, because a year has 52 weeks, so assuming that 5 weeks will go into waste because of unavoided circumstances. Yeah, so I was saying that if you assume that 5 weeks will go into waste, then it simply means that you will only have 47 weeks of income, and each week you are being given 6,000. I'm looking for my calculator here, because you have said that a driver will give you just 1,000 per day for 6 days a week. So that means that you will have 47 times 1,000. So I love using calculator because I don't go wrong. So 47 weeks times 1,000 times 6. So per year, that driver will make, not the driver, but the partner, the owner of that Mazda Demio, the owner of that Suzuki Swift, the big vehicles, will make only 282,000. And remember, that is the gross. That is not an amount that they have subtracted the maintenance, the insurance, and everything. That simply means that if that vehicle works for just 4 years, the owner of that vehicle will make 1.1 million. Remember, I always say that out of the gross collections, a partner should always set aside like 30,000 per month, or 30%. So I'll do 30% to cater for the maintenance, to cater for repairs, to cater for spares. So that means that if you remove 30%, that owner of that car will be spending on repairs, spares, and maintenance, it tells you that in 4 years, the owner will have made only 789,000. And remember, that vehicle was bought at around 1.2, 1.3. So if you lock that partner out of business with his car, it simply means that he will not make any income. And it will still be the same way, because a lot of people have been telling me that when you buy a car and you put it into the Uber business, people want to give themselves around 6 years. Okay, if you are asking a small amount of money from the driver in a way that he is able to take care of himself, take care of your vehicle without pressure, then that vehicle will require to be on the road for a minimum of 6 years, so that it can give you some good amount of returns, and then you are able to probably sell it at a price that is attractive for you to sell into the second-hand market. So what I'm trying to say here is that 4 years is not enough to get your investment back. 4 years is not enough for you to make money after investing in a brand new ex-Japan vehicle. It can only be fair if the 4 years could apply for locally used vehicles. For example, if I go out there and buy a 2012 model, a 2013, Uber can say, if your vehicle is closer to 12 years old, then we only give you 4 years to operate, then we remove you from the platform. But people going direct to Japan to import and then being given just 4 years to drive that vehicle and discard it, it is simply not feasible. And my question here is, why is all this happening? Because as you can see, guys, this vehicle of mine is a 2012 model. But this vehicle, I can tell you, it is in very, 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 very good condition. Better than 2018 vehicles. Some of the 2018 vehicles actually don't get anywhere close to the condition of this vehicle. But Uber are saying that, nevertheless, year of manufacture is the most important thing for them. It is not the condition of the vehicle. It is not how best you maintain it. They are saying that they are removing this vehicle from Uber nonetheless. And my question is this: why are they doing this? Have they realized that there are more vehicles that they need? Have they realized that probably there is no demand from riders? Have they realized finally that maybe this is a poor business decision for taxi investors? What are they trying to communicate? Because in my previous video I said, if the condition of a vehicle is determined by its year of manufacture, then they can go ahead and implement the decision to phase out vehicles that are more than 12 years old. If we all agree that an old vehicle is an unroadworthy vehicle, let's say a vehicle that is old is not fit for business. If we all agree that, then we can tell Uber, go ahead and implement your strategy. But is it true that an old vehicle is not good for purpose? It is not true. A vehicle is good because of its upkeep. It is good because of its maintenance. It is good of the care that you give to it. I believe that Uber have realized that, I don't know, honestly, I don't know what they have realized, but I don't to accept that there are more vehicles than the demand, because I still believe that there is a huge opportunity to grow the number of people using taxis in Nairobi. We only have a handful that use taxis out of the 6 million potential that we have in the city. But maybe Uber want to position themselves as a luxury company that only focuses on newer vehicles, on vehicles that have not been used for many years. So anyone operating on Uber or anyone requesting rides from Uber will have an impression that Uber vehicles are always newer than other companies. Maybe that is the positioning they want to have in the market, but it is not clear why this decision, because we rely on these vehicles, we rely on this business to make some few coins. But if you tell me that this vehicle, I cannot do business with it, you are killing my ambitions, you are killing my investment, and I don't know where to take this vehicle, because I thought the moment I would want to sell this vehicle, I will sell it to another ambitious person who wants to do business with it. But right now we are being told that nobody can do business with this vehicle, hence nobody will be willing to buy it. So end of 2025, this vehicle becomes garbage. Probably I'll give it to my dad, or I just look for someone to give in the village, and they will be transporting animal feeds, with it, because in the city it is irrelevant. So you guys tell me what you think. It's something that we need to discuss in deeper details. We need to see the bigger picture outside of what has been communicated. We need to know where these guys are coming from, why they are sending out this message, or is it a message that we also expect to hear from other companies like Bolt, like Faras, like Little Cab? Is it probably an insight from maybe a policy direction that the government will take? Maybe Uber have some heads up from what the government is planning probably to intend for public service vehicles, just that maybe Uber wants to jump the gun and go ahead of the regulations? Is it something that is in kitchen cooking that will be implemented by everyone in the coming years? I don't know. Time will tell. But I hope that my analysis has given you some ideas on why you should not buy a car and put it in Uber today.